Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode. Today we have a special guest. Zoe, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Zoe, and I am a pharmacy student at the University of Waterloo.
Awesome. So let's start from the very beginning. What inspired you to pursue a career in pharmacy?
Yeah. So I always loved biology as a kid growing up. I always wanted to see how things work, and I love nature and learning about cells. So I knew that I was going to have a career in healthcare, but I didn't know exactly where. So during my undergrad, I was debating between dentistry and pharmacy. And I had the opportunity to shadow some dentists, but my personal pharmacy was not accepting anyone to shadow. So I was kind of at a loss of if I would like pharmacy or not until the beginning of my third year. An internship opportunity was posted at a pharmacy in Guelph. And I applied for it and I got it and I loved it. So as soon as I started that, it was just pharmacy from there on. So I applied like right away that year for Waterloo and Toronto. And then thankfully I got in. So that's awesome because I had it on my radar. I was taking the prerequisites for both, and like dentistry and pharmacy overlap a lot. But there were some things like organic chemistry I had to actually take at a different school because my school like wouldn't let me take it in my curriculum. So there were some speed bumps. We got there. And I think it works really well because I love talking to patients and pharmacists, they get to actually counsel the patients on things versus like a dentist, you've got tools in their mouth. You can't really have a conversation with the patient. And as well, during COVID, which was right before I had my internship, so many things shut down, but pharmacy stayed open. So I like the fact that like pharmacy is an essential job. I know that pharmacists are needed and will always have a job and be able to help. So that like solidified it as well.
That's awesome. And how would you describe your, I would say like your student club involvements in your undergrad and in pharmacy school?
Yeah, so I would say I'm extremely involved. My undergrad had COVID in it, so I wasn't as involved, but I did go to a lot of Zumba classes. I went every week with one of my roommates, and I joined the book club for a couple of years. And then in pharmacy school, I've been doing a lot. So the first club that I joined was CAPSI, and I'm the finance officer for CAPSI going into my second year of that position. And CAPSI is such a huge club with such great people in it, and it's very organized. So I really like that. We get to do a lot of events like PAM and Waterloo's Next Top Pharmacist, and even go to the national events, which I did get to attend PAM in, no, sorry, not PAM, PDW in Toronto this year, which was hosted by CAPSI. And then from there, I also went on to be the finance officer for PPAG, which is the Pediatric Pharmacy Club, and the Oncology Pharmacy Club, and SOFS, which is like the big student organization for the pharmacy school. I'm also a peer mentor for RxPRN. So you can sign up to be a peer mentor and you help run the little events. And as well, if anyone reaches out to you, you can answer their questions. It's pretty low key. I haven't had anyone reach out with questions for me specifically yet, but maybe it will come. And last summer, I also did flag football for intramurals. So that was really cool. The main club, though, that I'm really proud of is the Veterinary Pharmacy Club because I founded that club last year. And it was quite a process. You need a lot of signatures to start a club and have it under the Society of Pharmacy Students. And we actually got around 80 students signed that they wanted the club to exist, which was double what we needed. I think we needed 40, and you just need 15 to keep a club going under WUSA. So it was a big success, and we needed 7 people to start the club as executives. And so I had that, and now we have 12 members. So that's really exciting. And I'm really happy with how that's going.
Oh, that's amazing to hear. And so what were some concepts you were exposed to in your first year and second year of pharmacy school, which made you visualize how you can make an impact in the field of healthcare?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. The first big one is minor ailments. Minor ailments are huge that we can make such an impact on patients. For example, just last week, I tried to call my doctor to have an appointment, and the office is only open from 9 a.m. to 12. So it's only open for 3 hours and they don't take phone call appointments. It's only in person. So like those hours are not very reasonable for anybody. So if I were a patient, let's say I had a UTI, like I'm not getting into my doctor's office. As well, the wait was over a month long to get an appointment, even with like those minimal hours. So I think that a pharmacy is a great option for patients to get that care, and I'm excited to be able to help them with that. Obviously, walk-ins are available, but some family doctors don't want their patients to go to walk-ins because of clawbacks, and then they might reject their patients. So I think that pharmacies are a safe and accessible alternative. Um, Another part for me personally is with the veterinary pharmacy club, I think that we've been teaching the students a lot that they wouldn't have normally known about veterinary pharmacy. I know that in my community experience, we do get prescriptions for dogs and cats. I've even heard of someone getting a prescription for a beaver and someone getting a prescription for a frog before. So if we don't learn about these, we might not know what to say. Thankfully, the veterinarians do counsel, so it's important to be in touch with veterinarians, but it's also good for us to know in case like we have anything additional we want to tell the patient or the patient's parent, and for compounding and where those resources can be. So with the Veterinary Pharmacy Club, we had an interprofessional event with University of Guelph veterinary students. So we worked together on cases, and I think that we learned a lot from that. And I think that this is something that could last even beyond me after I leave if the younger students can keep up the club and keep educating on social media and through events. The students that Waterloo students will come out knowing a lot more about veterinary pharmacy than they did in the past.
Amazing. And reflecting back on your first and second years, would you say there was something which sparked your interest in a particular field of pharmacy? And is that different from like any interest you had prior to entering pharmacy?
That's a good question. Um, Let me think about it for a second. Specific field. Well, I did just do a co-op in hospital. And so I hadn't previously thought about hospital a lot, but actually the first month that I was in pharmacy school, I think it was January, they had a CSHP come and host an event, and it was a little lunch and learn about hospital pharmacy. So that was really interesting to me. And then they had a residency night online info session. So I went to that as well. And then that led to me doing my first co-op in hospital pharmacy. So I think that was a field that I didn't really think about doing before. I'm still not sure exactly what field that I want to go into because I just love all of it and I love all of the variety. But that's something that I knew almost nothing about before starting school, and now I've learned a lot more about it.
Oh, that's amazing. Are there any, like, I would say, specific fields you're interested in, like, trying them out in your co-ops?
Yeah, so my next co-op will be community, which I'm excited to do the minor ailments and injections. And then for my third co-op, I'm hoping to do something unique like veterinary pharmacy. There's a few veterinary pharmacies in Ontario. There's also compounding pharmacies, which a lot of the time specialize in both like human and animal compounding. So I know there's one in Guelph, which I think would be cool to go to. And I do like compounding. I've done minimal compounding at my previous community experience, and as well from school we learn it. So I would like to enhance my compounding skills, I think.
It's amazing. And now let's come to my favorite question. How do you practice self-care in pharmacy?
Yeah, so I love hanging out with my friends. Um, it's nice to hang out and not be studying. We like to get bubble tea, or during first year, first semester on Thursdays was just like a super long day of class. So we would always walk to Starbucks between class, like no studying, just an hour of like walking around. And as well, I do love walks with my friends, my boyfriend, or alone. Just like being outdoors really recharges my battery. And I think it is important to take time to calm down and take a break, no matter if you have an exam the next day, like going for a walk might help you be more productive later if you can actually have that break.
That's fantastic. I want to actually touch back on the club that you founded, the Veterinary
Sure.
Pharmacy Club.
Mhm.
So I was wondering, like, how did the idea come into effect? Like, how did the idea, like, how did you think of the idea? What encouraged you to actually pursue that?
Yeah, so I went to the University of Guelph for my undergrad, and that's where the veterinary college is. So I saw a lot of things related to animals. And then I saw even before I actually got into Waterloo that there were veterinary pharmacy courses in the States, and I didn't see any around here. And so I thought maybe we'd do a little bit about it in class. And I looked at some of the classes, and we do have veterinary compounding as part of the advanced compounding class. That's the only thing. So I knew that I would like to learn more about it, but I didn't know if other people would, and I didn't want to start something that other people wouldn't be interested in. So during last summer was when I started kind of polling my friends. I'm like, are you interested in this? Is this something that you'd want to learn more about? And when they were all like, yes, absolutely, I was like, okay, it's time to start this. And I have some great friends that are very involved and very organized. So I asked some of them and some people that I'd worked in group work with in the past. And I was like, I know you'd be good at this role. Will you join my executive team? And it all worked out.
That's amazing. Do you have any final advices you would like to give to high school students and university students who are interested in pharmacy?
Yeah, just make sure that you're checking off the prerequisites, but as well, do things that set you apart. For example, I did a certificate in Spanish language and culture in my undergrad, and that's not a requirement for pharmacy school, but I talked about it in my interview, and maybe that's what set me apart from other people. Your grades are not the only thing, especially at Waterloo. If you have a 75, they're going to treat you pretty much equal as someone who has a 90. So from then on, it's just how do you define yourself? Do something you're interested in. It doesn't have to be what you think they want. It's just if you love it, you're going to succeed in it. So try it out.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing those valuable insights for with us.
You're welcome. Thank you for taking the time to interview me.
It's my honor. Thank you.